All right. Been away for a little while, but once again, we are back. We are live. It is 7:30-ish on a Sunday night. Means it's time for another edition live in the Man Cave. Appreciate you all tuning in and rocking with us. We do not take it for granted. Do appreciate each and every one of you. Want to say what's up to the All-State PG, All-State coach. What's going on, fellas?
What's up, man?
What's up?
Hey man, we are blessed, highly favored, and happy to be back talking basketball among other things. And man, before we get started, man, I just want to say, one of my guys, man, ain't gonna go deep into it. I ain't gonna, put his business out there, but Lance Williams, BK Tank, Angela Williams. Hey man, just shout out to you, man. Shout out to you and Angela, man. So if you know, you know. And moving on from that, PG, I know it's been a while. Not sure if you got anything in your take. If you do, you got it. If not, totally understand.
No, I don't have nothing.
You got that. All right. Well, Coach, anything in the corner? I know it's been a couple of weeks. I know a lot of things been going on here and there. I don't know if you got anything. If you do.
Yeah, I got a question. I was just thinking about this today, just looking at basketball. We was just talking basketball. Do system basketball still exist in today's game? And can you win championships running a system?
At the high school level?
Any level.
I think you can win system ball at the high school level. I think it gets harder the higher the level you go up. But I think you still got some control at the high school level. Nowadays with NIL, they losing control, in my opinion, at the college level somewhat. And pros is, I don't know if you got any, but at the high school level, I would say yes, still. If you look at the people that won state this year, I saw system basketball. I mean, they had some great people running the system, but it was a system. I would assume that Columbus has a system to do it 4 years in a row, and at the level of success that they've had, I would imagine that's a system. And then the people that beat Santa Fe and the people that beat Victory, those people be there like every year. So yeah, I would say that at the high school level, yeah, systems still can you win without running a system? Yes, but by and large, I think the people that's got systems in place are more successful than if they don't. Shout out to Coach Pruitt out on the boat, out on the water, checking us out, man. Yeah.
Must be nice, Coach. Be like you when I grow up.
Hey, must be nice on the boat, man. This is the boat time of year, right? The spring and the summer. It's time to jump on the boat. So, hey, man, we appreciate it. We appreciate it. So, what's your take on it, Coach?
I think the higher you go up, systems are not ran as much. Just to push back on what you just said, I do agree with the high school level. At the college level, I think Nova is a system. They run a system, and they have done it. They have found the formula, and it's consistently winning them D2 national championships down there. I think UConn is a system.
Golden State.
Golden State is a system. And my thing is they don't have to have the best talent in order to be effective. You know what I'm saying? I think there have been more talented teams that they have played against, but the system balances that out. I don't know if it's still a place for it in basketball, but I think people that has incorporated into their culture are consistently playing at a high level, if that makes sense.
Well, how many did most people pick Golden State to PG point last night, knowing Jimmy Butler wasn't gonna play?
Yeah, I thought they gonna 4-1 Houston.
You thought they would win even without Butler
Yeah,
because
Houston
of the system or because of Houston don't have nothing.
because of Houston.
Okay,
I think both. I don't think Houston has that veteran person in the locker room in order to lead those young guys. I think they're one veteran away to being a top 2, top 3 team in the West. So I think they gotta address that in the offseason.
Yeah, I think they will. They got money.
so the system
Who's out?
wins.
Who's out there?
I
system.
think it's gonna be some available free agents definitely this summer.
So why do you say you think systems is a thing of the past? Are you seeing more people winning without them? Or it's like the Polaroid camera. People that went to you go to the camera phone, the Polaroid just fades out. So many people doing it. Kind of like in football, where nobody gets under center no more, right? If you get under center, you like a dinosaur. Everybody's in the shotgun running.
And that's the thing. I think people just go with what's sexy or what's popular right now. They're not patient enough, or don't want to dedicate the time in order to implement it or see it through to the end. You know what I'm saying? It might take a whole summer. It may take the whole entire year, for it to fall in place. But are you willing to wait? I don't think people are patient enough in order to, create a system, implement a system, and see it through. They think they got to win right now and right away, and they feel pressure at the highest level. You know what I'm saying? NBA, NCAA, I totally understand. They don't have time to be patient, but at a high school level, you know what I'm saying? I think systems are important, um, especially when you don't have the talent.
Y'all run the system.
We do,
Yeah.
and we not going away from that blueprint. Our system has worked well for us. You know what I'm saying?
So
Like
it don't matter if it's defensive, offensive, as long as you got some type of system in. Because
yes,
offensively, you got to adapt toward the players you have, most likely.
yes, you do.
Defensively, I mean, you teach that to become what it is. You got to pray you got the talent level
Mm-hmm.
to sustain what you guys are doing. You know what I'm saying? But most of the time, that's just something that's gonna happen.
Yeah, and I agree. And you got to have that's where coaching comes in, making adjustments. Like
Yeah.
we had teams where there were better zone press teams. There were better zone press teams than they were, man to man run and jump. So we'll use one as our main defense and use the other one as a counter. When you call timeout, drawing up a play for that, then we switch into the other just to keep you off balance. You know what I'm saying? I had to learn and grow as a coach, especially offensively. We all from the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Offense looked way different back then than it does now. You know what I'm saying? I had to be willing to learn new systems in order to adjust to today's game and to my talent. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody want to sit on a block no more.
At
Like,
all.
when was the last time Polk County really had a true big man? You know what I'm saying? So you got to adjust to make sure that we maximizing the talent out there on the court.
Can you win without? Can you win without a true big? Because the people that's winning states have bigs, right?
Yes, they do. And yes, you can win. Like, I'm not gonna speak for anybody else, even us at Winter Haven. Um, Even when we didn't have a true big or we didn't have, many bigs, like our system are designed to get us easy buckets. We're trying to get layups. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to get mismatches. We're getting pick and rolls. We're running people off screens. We doing a Princeton offense where we getting back doors in order to maximize our talent. Most people I see right now is just looking to run to shoot threes, and I don't think I'm to that point yet.
Shout out to Twin tapping in tonight in the man cave. I mean, we say nobody, we don't have bigs and people don't run to the post. I mean, probably the kid from Victory was the best post player in the county, and he undersized, right? But,
MJ, yeah, man.
MJ, MJ the best post kid in the county, and he probably better than some people outside the county. Because everybody he played against, he was just as good or better than all year long. So
I think he gave it to him in the state finals too. I think he was tough.
He gave it to everybody he played. Everybody he played. So question for the chat, Coach Billy D. Since you're out there with it, go ahead and keep running, sir.
Coach Brooks, right now, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm fascinated with the Princeton offense. And those type of offenses that they run in the Midwest. People always said if people actually had athletes in those offenses, they'll wonder, how well they'll do in it. I know why now people ran those offense with less talent. Because if you do have talent, speed, you know what I'm saying, you can be even more effective. It's constant motion, it's spacing. You can get whatever you want to from the back doors, chin cut layups, to the 3-point shot. I'm real big on that right now, and we run that on the chin series and the point series at Winter Haven. I may touch the 5 circle motion this summer, but I'm a bit pick and roll guy too. So.
Is that what Florida ran?
A version of it, yes. Actually, I took the point series from the assistant coach, Coach Hartman at Florida. Me and him been in constant contact. That's the one I text y'all about that I'm trying to get down this way.
Yeah.
So, in the Final Four, if we look in college, because all 4 of those teams that made it, first time all the 1 seeds made it, would you say all 4 of those teams were running systems? I know I say Houston runs a system.
I'm going to say Houston for sure. And Florida does to a point, but he allow his kids to be basketball players within his system. He doesn't handcuff them or restrict them.
Okay. So when you start saying chin series and pick and roll and all this stuff, how much of that is over the head at the high school level in Polk County?
It's probably way over the head, Coach.
So are you flexing? Are you flexing right now, Coach? Are you trying to drop some gems? Are you trying to get some advice?
I'm just trying to drop information that is just more out there. I see a lot of people from the college level run the Spain series, especially in the Power 4 conferences. I know Purdue is big on Spain. You just have so much that's out there. I think you just need to find something that fits your particular talent. What I do is I find basically the skeleton of it, and I change it in order to fit my team. I always put my kind of spin on it in order for us to be successful. But it's so many systems out there, Coach. You just got to find what works for you and your team. But find something. You know what I'm saying? Because we all know when we talk off the air, we talk about people not running nothing. They just go out there and just roll the ball out and just play basketball. And when you get into a tough game, you're going to have to be able to run a set to get a bucket. You're not going to be able to just one-on-one and try to get a bucket in tough games.
So if you're a brand new coach, to both of y'all, you're a brand new coach and you're trying to put a system in, would it be more advisable to try to find one good offensive system or one good defensive system? If you only could teach one of them, right off till you get more comfortable.
Defense.
Yeah, I start with defense too.
Okay. Because offense, you can figure something out.
Yeah.
If nothing else, if you stop them from scoring, you got a shot.
You can create offense off your defense.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Okay, because that's what, like you said about Nova. Nova, you'd be surprised. I know I was looking at Nova with how they was pressing with who they was pressing with, but like you said, that's the system. So they bring you in and they just plug you in. So, and they was getting a lot of stuff off of defense. So that's a good take. That's a good take. So, but coach, you say you had a couple. That was it. You got something else? So that was.
Nah, that was it.
You plugging it? Okay. Man, so the transfer portal has been pretty quiet, right? I know that it's
ready to be until school ends.
Till school ends. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know that spring football is about to start. So, and I know that some personnel, some stuff has happened football wise. And primarily that could impact basketball. Primarily, there's a new sheriff in town at Victory. In football, there's a new sheriff in town in Bartow. How much do you see those changes impacting basketball? Because I know a few of those Victory kids, or a lot of those Victory kids, went to Lake Gibson for football. Lake Gibson, I mean, you got Willis and Cottenham, so you ain't got a bad two to start with. Could it be a situation where somebody like a Lake Gibson could become relevant, for lack of a better word, off of the ripple effect of football? Because I know we're talking transfer portal in basketball, but the transfer portal in football could impact the portal in basketball. Do you not see it really spilling over like that?
It depends on the destination. Like Gibson, I don't think most of the kids that they got in played basketball other places, so I don't see that being a huge impact.
Well, I'm saying not that they got right now, but like how these kids go, they look over there and see what's going on, and next thing you know, you see a flyer. All glory to God. I'm taking my talents. And they could be a two-sport. That's how it be, and they be a two-sport kid. So I'm not saying like right now, but say like what Lake Gibson doing, because a lot of eyes gonna be on Lake Gibson this summer. I mean, for the new coach and the new kids. So if they gonna have a good spring, everybody ain't trying to go on Lakeland Highlands Road. Now, is it Lakeland Highlands Road? Everybody ain't trying to go over there and put the orange and black on. Everybody ain't. Most people are, but they could be an option. Because at one point, Lake Gibson was a destination just a few years ago. So, and then
times change so quickly.
Yeah,
quick, coach. But then Bartow the same way. Like you got a lot of those Bartow kids played basketball, but they also play football, and they primary sport is football. So, I mean,
I don't think the dynamics of the county have changed. We have multiple sport athletes. I think it's a great recruiting tool, if your football team is successful, you know what I'm saying, in order to help you with basketball. I think usually they complement each other. So if both of them are competitive, that could be highly sorted out for me to go to that program. If I can compete at a high level in football and basketball, have a chance to play at the next level.
So you got Kathleen with two new coaches. So they just got the kid Swanson from Bartow, who figures is a major pickup on the basketball court.
Yeah, that's gonna take a minute.
Say again.
Did he play football? Yeah.
Oh, he's supposed to be their quarterback. Now that the other guy, the kid went to Lakeland. But coach, you said it's gonna take a while. I mean, he got three solid pieces. I mean, he got the Swanson, and they young Swanson, Kelly, and the other freshman, the Frederick kid.
He got three more than he had at Jenkins, right?
You got three more than he had at Jenkins, coach, and I guess Kathleen is still to some people Kathleen in name. So I think a dark horse in that whole victory dynamic could be Kathleen, because they can get a couple of those kids. And then, Kathleen, especially for football, you're guaranteed to get on the field and get snaps just because of their numbers, if nothing else. And you saying being a two-sport guy, you got a new coaching, and Coach Davis and new energy, so they could surprise some folks, I guess is what I'm saying, off of the ripple effect of football.
Yes, and I agree. And I see improvement from Kathleen this year. They will be better as a program.
In what, football or basketball?
Basketball. Football, I think that's the dumpster fire, to be honest.
I agree.
Do you think
that's going to take a minute to rebuild? But I've actually been over that way, and I see the energy that Coach Kelly is bringing to that campus. I like it. It's just he's going to have to get the community and the people behind him. I think it's important for him to get Kathleen guys on his staff to make sure that those kids don't leave. If I was him, I'd be hitting hard with the little leagues just to make sure them kids come to him.
How can you, and this is a basketball, I guess, but it's a football question. If you got a team as dominant as Lakeland, and then Lakeland flying out to California, they playing Northwestern, they playing Carrollton, and they are who they are, right? The national program. How can a school like Kathleen ever get back on the top side of that? Is it even, what would be the strategy? If we talk about systems and programs, how do you build back to respectability?
Where was Kathleen at the top of football?
Say again?
Man, football or basketball?
I'm saying football. Oh, you saying where they've been at the top? Okay.
Yeah, who have they been at the top of football?
When Strick was coaching, at least there was a playoff team. It was competing in the playoffs when Strick was there.
And they was competitive. They beat them a few times.
Years ago now.
Yeah, that's been a minute.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, in that situation, and then, it's just like, and then it spills over to basketball. There's no basketball team in the county that has that type of dominance that Lakeland has in football. So it's probably not at the same level. But I'm just, if I'm coming in to that situation, how do I build my program with that type of, that cloud, for lack of a better way of putting it? I just don't know how you, we're just talking about programs and systems and all this kind of stuff. I don't know how you do that. And like you said, I think tapping into basketball helps because the two sport kids can go into the little leagues. But at the end of the day, that's a tough.
I mean, if it's me, I'm blending a couple methods. For one, I'm doing what Blicker is doing with their skill camps and making sure people are in my gym. I'm trying to help get them better so people can see me, see what type of energy that I'm bringing, and maybe it'll attract kids to me at an early age. Two, I'm heavy into the travel ball scene, maybe even coaching with an organization so I can also build rapport with my kids or other kids around. Again, it may attract kids to me. And the next thing would be is being heavily involved in middle school. You know what I'm saying? I would be, inviting middle school programs into my practices, having my kids go out, give skill camps to them. I would do everything possible just so I can be seen by the community and by these kids to make them want to play for me.
Yeah.
Is it important, like Tab say? Shout out to Tab, Extra Media, tapping in tonight. Appreciate you, boss. Is it money over everything? Is it cream, Wu-Tang type situation? Because Lakeland got it, right? And the image or the inference or the kind of conclusion is that Kathleen don't have it, right? We know that some basketball programs got it, and we know that that's the image, whether it's true or not, is that a lot of them don't. So we talk money and we talk resources on here a lot. I think energy and, like you're saying, working and having stuff going on is a good thing. I think that's how, those kids left Ridge. Not saying that Coach Skip wasn't doing nothing, but I know that Coach Hill at Haines City was, and he got what, 4-5 kids from over there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something to that.
I mean, money and resources are always gonna play a part. What gear you have, do you look good when you're out there? Where you going for tournaments and stuff? That play a key role too. You know what I'm saying? What type of schedule you playing? Who you playing against? But in the end, it's gonna be a reflection of the head coach and how you're viewed in the community, and do people want to send their kids to you?
So I mean,
because my thing is, it's not. We start talking NIL for basketball. It's not a lot of NIL type kids right now in Polk County. You know what I'm saying? And if you are paying them,
they getting NIL for football.
They getting NIL for football. I don't seen a couple kids sign NILs for football.
Yeah.
Man, where I been at?
But this thing, Coach, it's just like on the other side, with you.
I ain't cutting no check for no high school.
With you on y'all side, how can you build a sustainable, respectable, whatever the word I'm looking for, girls program with Death Row sitting over there? Like, I'm just keeping it in the book, right? How does that happen though, Coach? Like, y'all, I mean, how can I compete if I'm starting, like, let's just say Red at Lakeland. She's trying to bring Lakeland back from the dead, right? And she ain't necessarily competing with y'all because y'all in the same district and that kind of stuff. But how if it's a kid that can play at Lakeland, Shaw, Tiffany, I mean, they not staying in Lakeland, Coach. Like,
that list is long.
Come on now, I got a lot of real estate over in Lakeland, man. Well, Haven can say a lot of good stuff to how good Lakeland been to them, right? So how do you do that though?
Like NIL team too.
Say again? Oh yeah, NIL team. Coach, I'm seeing they going to California and where they going to Oregon and California. Hey,
that's our NIL too.
Them flights ain't cheap.
They not cheap, but we're gonna put them on the platform so they can be seen. You know what I'm saying?
Any y'all ain't fundraising.
We fundraising, man. What you talking about?
Imagine that.
Yeah. That's what they say. That's what they say. What you do? You gotta do that.
We see Lakeland with a GoFundMe.
GoFundMe.
They got way more people to try to, get to California than we do. You know what I'm saying? But, at the same time, we're doing those things. Like, we're in the gym. You know what I'm saying? Like, Serenity Hardy has been in the gym with us since, like, 4th grade. You know what I'm saying? Her sister played for us. So she used to come with her sister. She used to get skill work in, from dribbling to shooting and whatever. And we used to just throw her out there like, hey, you know what I'm saying? So she knew, at an early age. And, like, we have other kids, little sisters and stuff coming in and train. It's like, I mean, over at Death Row, Coach, man, we just we
that's the thing, Coach. That's the thing, like,
yeah, the grid that we call it Death Row.
No, and this is the thing, they take pride in saying it's Death Row, same thing they do with Orange and Black. Like, they like stand on that. That's
so y'all ain't dancing out in the video.
We ain't dancing in the video, Tuma. You know what I'm saying? We ain't trying to take no shine from you, none of that. We want to give you the shine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love it.
If you want to go to California, if you want to go, you know what I'm saying, to Oregon, you want to go to Atlanta, you want to play against the best. You know what I'm saying?
I just come to Death Row. We leaving the state. We leaving the county lines 3 times, not 1 time, not 2, 3
Not
times.
the state lines. We always leave the county.
I'm starting the state line. We leaving. We passing that sign and say you're not leaving Florida 3 times. Who else can say that?
Y'all moving like TBS now?
How can you compete with that?
Like I said, it's a blueprint. Tuma, you have a blueprint. We have a blueprint. You know what I'm saying? We know what it takes in order to compete at a high level.
Man, TBS got people. How many teams don't even? When I first came around TBS with bro, it first started to the number team. Man, he retired 5, 16 in this area. So like they don't even compete. They don't even put a team out there no more. Like it's a white towel, it's a white flag for the. Because how you compete with that?
My thing is he's
don't say nothing wrong, but how you compete with that?
He's the standard. You know what I'm saying? The standard is the standard. Like if you want to compete at a high level, he has the blueprint for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that we've been consistently a really good team in Polk County. Nobody has done that on the girls' side. You know what I'm saying? We had some down years. You know what I'm saying? But that's gonna go hills and valleys with what the talent that you have. But consistently, we're gonna compete at a high level.
And that's just, but that's enough. That's enough. Did I freeze?
No, you good.
Okay. Is that y'all just stopped talking?
No, I was reading the comments. That's all.
Is that enough?
Is what enough? Coach,
What you just said, is that enough?
Coach, you know what I'm saying? Like you have to constantly challenge yourself in order for you to keep coming back. Because just think about all the championships that Tuma has won. So it's got to be something that's continuing to motivate him to continue to get him to come back. You know, and that's for myself too, because if it get to a point where I'm not motivated into coming back every day, then it's time for me to move on. You know what I'm saying? I'm always challenging myself. I'm challenging, you know, our coaching staff. I'm challenging those kids where I want to come back every day. But when it gets to a point where it's nothing else for me to achieve, then it's time for me to walk away.
When you wanted more, that's what I knew it was time for me to walk away when I was at Jenkins, you know, right before I went into admin. When I wanted more than you, when I'm taking losses harder than you taking them, then yeah, it's time for me to let it go. And see, right now, y'all don't have that problem. You girls ain't gonna lay down on you, like you said. Serenity in the gym, they're waiting on y'all, and that's way ahead of the game for 85% of the people, right?
Yeah,
and so
that's all of them, Coach. All of them, they live in the gym. They stay in there.
But that's what I'm saying. You got a cheat code right now. Tuma got a cheat code right now, you know. So speaking of cheat codes, man, speaking of being in the gym, you know, to add to the conversation needs like no introduction, you know, family at this point. We always a treat when we can get a little bit of his time. So we want to welcome him to the room, to the chat on the show. Head coach of Bartow High School. Needs no introduction, but just the same. What's going on with your Coach McGriff?
How you doing, Coach Barnes? Coach Tuma?
What's up, Coach?
Washington? How we doing?
The GOAT. How you doing, Coach?
All that. I'm doing well. They're blessed. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Coach. And Coach, I'm gonna give you your flowers, Coach. Whether you want to receive them from me or not, Coach, I'm gonna give you your flowers.
PLAYAS. You need some players, Coach. You know that. You had a couple here a couple weeks ago in that state championship game. It was a great game. And,
appreciate it.
It helped to have Serenity Hardy.
Definitely.
And Shaw, that quick girl that got in foul trouble, I forget her name. Players.
Oh, Quinn.
Quinn, there you go. Yep.
Yeah.
One that came in and totally changed the semifinal game. She came in. It was a whole separate game. Two different games.
Yeah.
And we wanted this one more.
She had like 17 in the second
half.
Yeah, and a half.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we wanted this one a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? We wanted something separate from that three-peat. That three-peat team, they were special. That was a special group. You know what I'm saying? But we were always tied to that. So now, getting another one without those particular teams, I think it kind of cements, the hard work that we've been doing over there.
Coach McGrill, ask Coach Billy D before you got on, was talking about systems. Systems, yes, sir. And does teams still run systems, and can you be successful without it? So I know you're a big system guy. You're a big, policy and procedure guy. So what's your take on that question?
What's a system? So I make sure I answer it right. What's a system? What do you all take on what a system is?
Like what you running offensively, what you running defensively, that you've been like, if you've been doing the same thing for years with your program.
We gave an example of Nova Southeastern. If you don't know Nova Southeastern, you surprised, at least I was, when I turned on TV and saw what they was running and saw who they was running it with. And that's what they've been doing. So whoever they recruit, they come into that. So that was an example we use as a system, I guess, defensively. So if that gives some clarity to the question.
Yeah. So your question is, what kind of system do we run, or the system versus no system, or who runs system? Well,
not what you're running, but just can you win? Do people still run systems? Can you win without them, without doing it?
Yes, people still run systems, and unless you have more talent, I don't think you can win without it. For instance, we watching Columbus win 4 in a row. Well, they had a system offensively. They had a philosophy of how they spaced the floor, and defensively, they were sound in what they were doing defensively. So I think you got to have a system. It's been great watching the NBA playoffs. They're playing for real now. Sometimes, the NBA gets a bad rap, but some of that they bring on themselves.
They don't play, Coach. I don't even watch the playoffs because they don't play worth nothing. Remember, we talked about it a long time ago. Like
two different versions.
Yeah, I started watching basketball because it's basketball then.
They play.
That's what gives you and Billy D and all y'all such a hard job, because all the kids see is the whole regular season. So they think they can come in there with you and do the same thing, because that's all they. Because now when they playing for real, y'all not playing. Does that make sense? So like it's the playoffs and it's off season for y'all. So. Anyway, go ahead. That's
they play hard. Every series is knocked down, drag. Even the teams that are down are playing hard. And some of them still comes down to talent, but like we just saw the Lakers and Minnesota before the show. And man, it was both teams. The Lakers went the whole second half. Okay, so you're talking about strategy. JJ Redick is a first-year coach, even though he's been in the league, he was in the league 15, 16 years. So he plays those guys the whole second half. And, he's getting criticized for that.
What's your take on that? Because I asked Tuma that right before we came on the show. You think that he don't have a choice, but that's a bold move in the NBA. That's a bold move anyway, but the NBA, and it's never been done before.
It's never been done. It depends on your philosophy. I read something where Coach Fitz from Victory says he's going to play his guys. He's going to play his guys the whole game. I had never really thought about it until he actually wrote that in a post in the last 40 days. And he thinks that people should do that. And, I mean, okay, he's been pretty good the last couple of years and going to be pretty good. So that's a great philosophy. I take a different approach. I think you got to, especially in high school, but even in the pros, I think you got to play people. I mean, LeBron playing the whole second half, he's 40 years old. He can't go. And Luka. So it probably cost them, although the margin was that thin. So I like playing multiple guys.
Who would you play in those situations? Like he took a break on the offensive end, and he really didn't defend nobody on the defense end. That's why he was so helpful late defensively. LeBron didn't take 3 shots in the fourth quarter.
No, LeBron was wild. LeBron defended in the fourth quarter. A couple steals, block shot.
But he took the rest on the offensive end.
Right.
So if you're sitting him, who could help? Like, I mean, I'm a Laker fan. I didn't see like the way they played, like it's like a give and take. If you take them out, you're losing both.
Without me knowing, okay, tell me Tuma, because I don't watch them during the regular season. Tell me who else they had off the bench, because I just started watching them.
Vanderbilt. That Vanderbilt was the only one that could come off the bench, and he don't shoot the ball well. So the spacing, the floor spacing would have been horrible.
So you agree with him playing it for 24 minutes? That 5?
At that critical, yeah, I think any team. Anthony Edwards didn't come out the game. Julius Randle didn't come out. I think we're just looking at it because of the age of LeBron.
Yes,
that makes sense, but I don't know who you sub in that could help in that moment.
I just read something. I'm on some of these coaching blogs or something that I enjoy looking at them. So I just read something where they said that Jason Kidd, the Mavs coach, when he had to play Luka the whole second half or the whole game, he would get him a minute and a half right before the under 4 timeout, 3:30 timeout.
Yeah.
So it would be a longer break. And probably that's what he could have done to steal a minute. I'm not saying yeah.
I just don't think their personnel is so bad.
Yeah, they don't have a center.
It's finally caught up with them.
But y'all just said it earlier. He's a rookie coach. He's never really coached before. So he has former head coaches on the bench.
Yes, he does.
They are going to have to be more vocal into
does.
doing that. Because when we got in position where we had to play Serenity, a lot where she couldn't get out the game, we had to use those type of strategies to get her short breaks, before a quarter or doing a free throw or for a possession or two, just to get them short breaks. You got to use those type of strategies.
It's a mental break is what it is, right?
Yeah, I get what you're saying with the minute. When they went up 10, when Lakers went up 10, you could have gave him a minute break then, because he wasn't giving you nothing on the offensive end.
That was my thought, bro, when they went double digits, maybe a minute LeBron, and then sub LeBron out with Luka. And then when Minnesota made that run, and having said all that, if old boy hit the 3-pointer, or it's not instant replay like it is now, where they show LeBron fouling, Lakers probably could have stole it. So it's like
the margin between winning and losing.
Yeah.
In another strategy,
then he a genius. Then though, right? If that happened, oh man, he the first one ever did. He's a genius.
It was a do or die situation for the series.
Say again.
It was a do or die this situation for the series, but they're so bad defensively.
Their bench. I felt like I don't criticize it because the Lakers bench is so bad. I don't think he had a choice. Like you couldn't afford to sit, Coach. I think their bench is bad, and I know y'all Laker fans, but I haven't seen it. I'm like, he didn't have a choice. He especially when he got Finney actually playing well, and and Rules hitting shot. He didn't have a choice. I don't think he had a choice. Like I said, he could have stole minutes here and there, but they're bad on. He has no bench.
I agree, but you can steal minutes, and it's something Coach McGriff does, and I've seen people do it against him. It's just using those substitutions to disrupt the tempo of the game. It slows the game down. If you always got a sub there, that's another way for get them breaks. You know what I'm saying? And the funny thing is, we used to do it to each other. He did it more to me than I did to him. But we used to do it to each other, where just breaking up the tempo of the game by just having somebody at the table, because you got to stop the game. You got to sub them in. Just little strategies like that, just to still
chop the game.
Break.
They got to find a way to match the youth with the type of guy that they're going up against, like how Dallas had those young guys.
Yeah, Lively.
Timberwolves have them.
Definitely.
OKC had that. Like they got guys that 6'9" that can play in and out. But Reeves and Luka are so bad defensively, it don't matter what happens, bro. Like they're just gonna exploit that. They're gonna pick and roll.
So to that point,
go ahead.
My point to that point, how I thought they probably could have stolen minutes with them on the floor. They could have went zone. They never went zone the second half.
He went zone a little bit, Coach.
But
he would go zone out of the timeout. He went a little bit,
a little more to save that. You could save the minute with them on the floor in zone.
Dude wasn't missing though.
With
Anthony Edwards didn't miss in the second half. It felt like, bro, he hit.
What I'm saying is he was hitting against man too. I'm saying if he hitting them, he hitting them. It's for the sake of you saving minutes for your guys. I guess what I'm saying. Trying to manage. You're gonna play them.
One way you can help yourself out and slow the game down. Bill was great with this at Lake Wells. You know, Luka's getting trapped up top. They running somebody to the middle, but then they kept the guys at the 3-point line. Well, to me, you got to pound that opposite guy. Got to come on, pound the paint, and you get to the free throw line. You slow the game down from the free throw line. They shot a lot of threes. They're a good 3-point shooting team, but you can get twos when somebody's trapping you. It's always been our philosophy. We like the 3, but we still 2-point people. And so I thought they could have cut a guy in off the middle.
Man, how bad was Luka though today?
You didn't like Luka's game? Did you talk about defense? He had 30-some points.
I take away the 30. I mean, it was just poor decisions off that pick and roll, just going to the corner to try to get somebody to come pick and roll to get trapped.
They got to help him.
Yeah, it was.
He does not have those young athletes that he had.
Yeah,
in Dallas, like Lively,
yeah,
the Washington kid, all them kids they had last year. They was young, they was leapers. He was throwing alleys to those kids. They'll run the floor. He just don't have those type of athletes. I don't think the Lakers did anything to help themselves at the trading deadline. You know what I'm saying? They should have made a move, and they didn't. I
think they did, and then the center get rescinded or something like that. What happened with the trade?
Yeah, it did.
He can be helping them right now. He can be helping them a whole lot.
Yeah, that's true. But look, even just take that away, right? This how bad the NBA is. They didn't Connect ain't touched the floor in none of these games. Like you got guys that played all season who you won't even put in at all.
Is that a defensive thing, Tuma? Is it defense?
It can't be coach because Luka not playing no defense.
Yeah, Luka not playing no defense. Did you see Luka give up that 3? He chased Anthony Edwards with a man trailing in that critical situation. That was big. Yeah. Austin Reed, whoever they can go, they were just going at him. Yeah. He had a goose egg in the first half.
Y'all Lakers men?
Yeah, diehard Lakers.
So, McGrill, we asked this question before you jumped on too, and this kind of directly affects you. The ripple effect and it's a 2-part question. We were saying the ripple effect of football rolling over to basketball because, we got Victory, got a new football coach. Bartow got a new football coach. Kathleen got a new football coach.
Yeah.
And how that could have a possibility of changing landscapes and stuff. And we were saying it from a standpoint of how could a program like Kathleen football ever build back up with a football program like Lakeland sitting there as a juggernaut. Same thing as how could a program like Lakeland girls build up with a juggernaut like Winter Haven sitting there. So it's kind of a 2-part question. Could football change the dynamic of that? Because, a lot of those Victory kids went to Lake Gibson. So you mess around and get a kid and Lake Gibson have a good spring, you get a couple of kids to roll out there, that could change the dynamic of them. So what's your take on how the shift of things and how football can relate to that when you're trying to build a program to put in a system? That's kind of how the question was, right when you jumped on.
I think I want to be careful with my words, right? I think you have to start putting in your system, and if this is not what you were asking me to hop in to redirect me, right? I think you gotta start putting in your system with your basketball guys. And then I think your football guys, okay, does the coach allow them to play in the summer? The football coach. Now that's a heck of a word. Does the coach allow them to play basketball in the summer? What's the relationship with the football and basketball coach? With Bill, it was great because he coached football, okay? And Bartow, it's okay because I've been there before the football coaches. So, but at some place like Kathleen is getting a new football and basketball coach. Lake Gibson, where the basketball is coming, Beltware is trying to get it to come up. What's the dynamic? Okay, here's some things that's changed the last 5 years. 7-on-7 it's the new travel ball for football, just like travel ball for basketball. it's changed, and so that's going on a little bit more. And so you don't get those guys, and so then you're playing catch up. And okay, I was watching as an example, and did I answer your question? What you're talking about?
You good?
I was watching Victory play. I think Fitz, man, he's doing a great job, right? And he's a good dude in what he's doing for the kids. He's helping develop them off the court. So shout out to Coach Fitzgerald. He's got the Jojo kid, and I thought he managed that great, right? Jojo got football. I don't even know if most people even thought Jojo was going to play. I'm watching him, because we got to play him late in the year. And then Jojo comes back. Man, he makes a great impact. Mm-hmm. And so we're watching the state semifinals and finals, and Jojo's one of the best 3 guys on the floor. And so I'm a fan, and so I'm just up there screaming for Jojo because I'm rooting for Victory. I'm rooting for Santa Fe to win it, right? They're from Polk County, because I can feel his impact. On the other side, Jojo hadn't been there the whole time, and you have other guys who have been there all year, your basketball guys. How do you manage that? I don't know that there's an answer to it. I mean, the margin between winning and losing is like that. That state championship game was relatively close. Which one? I think one of them was close, and then I think, was that the one that was close, or was Santa Fe close?
Santa Fe was close. Okay,
and so the margin between winning the state championship and losing it when you get there is about that much if the teams are balanced, right? And so it's a tough conversation to have. All right, we've got a new coach, Coach Morrell. The good thing about Coach Morrell is his people, Grady Morrell, his dad, Nate, his brother, all those people are from Victory. They football, basketball people. So Coach Morrell, even though he's the football coach, he also understands basketball. So it's a good dynamic. But a lot of people don't have that. Like at Kathleen, okay, Kenny Davis, and what's my football coach name? Kenny Kelly. Okay, they're going to have a great relationship. I think for Kathleen to be good, and you guys know I told Kenny when he got the job, I'm rooting for Kenny, and I want Kathleen to be good because Kathleen's my alma mater, except for the second Friday in January. It'll be January 9th in Bartow. Coach, if you know the date, yep. Billy shaking his head. I know when we play Lake Wales, we're going to play them the last Friday in Lake Wales, right?
Yeah.
January.
What it's April 27th, man. This is Chestnut Chuckers, man. That's an example of Chestnut Chuckers that we talk about. Like, it's April 27th, bro. You calling out the game in
January 9th in Bartow. I told him it's a different rivalry than Bartow and Jenkins. So welcome to the rivalry. It's a little bit more contentious and stuff like that, of course. And he know it, right? He lived. He even though he went to Jenkins, he's from Lakeland. He understands the rivalry. And one of the things to say, Kenny, you have got to have a great relationship with Coach Kelly, and you just got to be some lead with those football. He's got to have those kids to win. And football has decimated Kathleen's basketball program more so than any other school, right? I would say. Whereas, if a kid's not playing in Lake Wales, is it because it's a little different? Like, it's different. The Kathleen child and the Lake Wales child, the reasons they're not playing are different, right? The kids transferring out of Kathleen to go to Lakeland or transferring out to go someplace else. So he's got to build a dynamic. And he's got to get some basketball-only guys, too. He's got to have some guys that they just hoop. And so that's interesting. Here's another thing. Here's another phenomenon. We had Walter Clayton, right? He'll be on in a few minutes. He's out in L.A. guys training, and he's actually out with the other guys he's training with. So I think he's supposed to be on at about 8:30 our time. So hopefully anytime here, I'll text him in a few seconds to making sure he hops on. But he comes to Bartow, right, from Lake Wales. And he's a football guy. He's a football guy, right? And so we're all nervous. And even Coach Tate comes in and says, Walt, you sure you don't want to play football? And I'm kind of like, go play football, because as a basketball coach, if a guy his size doesn't play football, I get criticized. Me. And Bill, the guy knows this, and Barnes, you know this, Toomey, you know this. Like, it's the coach encouraging him not to play football, which wasn't the case in Walt's case. He came to Bartow to play basketball. And so we've got another kid like that in Jir Wallace, right? He's a big 6'4" freshman. He's having a pretty good offseason. He's playing with Trey Mann. He's actually 15. He's ninth grader, but he's playing up on the 16 and under. And I get a text from his dad. His dad's sitting next to Dan Mullen. This is last week, okay? Dan Mullen is the former Florida coach. He's now the coach at UNLV, okay? We know a coach from UNLV. Denzel Nicholson now is at UNLV, right, working with Dan Mullen. So the dad overhears Mullen talking. And then Sean said, that big boy, does he play that football? Because Jameer's 6'4", 230 pounds now. And so Dan Mullen gets kind of where you can't kind of talk to the kid, but you know how this thing goes. They kind of get word that kid should be playing football. Okay. So dad tells me, I said, hey, football starts next Monday. Football starts on 28th. Get him out there. I talked to Jameer this week. I said, well, you're going out, new coach. Coach, I ain't going out there now. So I'm talking with Denzel, Coach Nicholson. And I said, Nick, we got this kid, your coach saw him. I mean, he's a big boy. Nick pulls him up on max preps. Nick salivating. He don't have to say, McGriff, if you get some film right now, because he's 6'4", 230 pounds. That's a dynamic that coaches struggle with. At traditional schools like Kathleen, like Bartow, like Lake Wells, Lewin Haven, what do you do? If he doesn't play football, is it on me? And it should be a decision that's made by him and his parents. It shouldn't be that McGriff's holding the bike or Davis holding the bike or Woodside's holding the bike. Okay, now I know what Bill would say because Bill's a football guy. Go out there and play football. As the NIL money changing stuff?
We just talking about that before you jumped on. So let's pause real quick, and man, we got royalty in the building, so we want to make sure we welcome on Polk County, one of Polk County GOATs, man, and current national champ, state champ. Just make sure you say champ when you say his name. Talk to him nicely, man. Welcome Walt Clayton into the ManCave. Appreciate you, boss, for stopping by and giving us a little bit of your time, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all having me on here. Good to see y'all. How y'all doing?
We good, man. So, first of all, congrats. And man, just any words just to start off that you wanna say to the folks, that rock with us here with Polk Coots, man. You got a couple minutes to anything you want to say before we start on with you.
I ain't got too much to say, man. I'm just thankful for the position I'm in right now, and obviously I'm from Polk, so y'all done kind of seen my growth, throughout all the years. That's really all I got to say.
All right, well,
I want to shout out to Walt's mom, Cherie, and dad, Walt Sr., and I want to shout him out for this. I had one meeting with his mom when they decided to come to Bartow. The first week. She said, Coach, whatever you need to do, he's yours. She wasn't a helicopter mom. As far as we didn't have to discipline Walt for much, but she supported everything that we kind of tough love, and she supported it. So I want to shout her out because that makes a difference. And I want to shout out his dad. I don't think I ever had a conversation with his dad. He missed the Kathleen game, the one game he missed in his tenure, and it was for something crazy. And I remember watching his dad punch him in the chest, and I thought he was gonna kill him, man. And Walt probably don't want me saying that, but he can't do nothing to me now. He's going to the NBA, so he ain't a boss. So it takes parents like that. And the work ethic that he have is his dream and goals and aspirations, but his parents, man, and his whole family, his aunties and grandparents, stuff like that. But we deal with so many coaches, deal with so many parents that they wanted to be about their kid, but they won't give the coach the freedom. The other thing I'll say about Walt, the way he played make it easy for everybody else to gravitate to him because he's willing to pass the ball. And there's so many parents, they don't want their kid to pass the ball. They don't want their kid to play for a team. So he made it easy at Bartow, at Lake Wells. Remember now, they went to Elite Eight at Lake Wells. So one like they was chopped liver. At Iona, and then at Florida, he's made it easy for guys to play with him because of his unselfishness. And that also comes, I think, from his parents. So shout out to his mom and his dad and the rest of the family.
Well, we saw Walt, we saw his journey through the tournament. From a coaching standpoint, describe because they don't put the cameras on the high school coach, How was your journey from the first round to him cutting down the nets in Texas from a coaching perspective?
We got a chance to watch the SEC tournament live and do most of the games of the tournament live. And it was, for a high school coach, what we get out of it is for our guys to realize their goals, dreams, aspirations. And so to see him live that out live. I broke down at one of the games, the Texas Tech game. We all kind of sitting there. That game was over. Me and Coach Austin out there and D out there, and we're sitting on the same row as Walt's mom. Okay, the dad, Mr. Clayton Sr., he's so nervous he done got up and just went up. He can't take it right up. And they're down 8 or 10. I look down at mom. She on her phone. I lean over to coach. I say, this game's over. I'm here. Because we feel bad for Walt and the team. We're rooting for Walt, right? Whether you're a Gator or but we're rooting for the team. And then all of a sudden, boom. And so I broke down because I was overjoyed in watching him. I watched enough coaches, they do too much talking, they don't do enough watching. Enough people do too much talking, they don't do enough watching. Then I watched his mom, and I watched his dad, and all his family was there, his auntie and all the family. It was awesome. Corey, you coach 29, I've been coaching 29 years. If I get to next year to be my 30th year coaching, right? You was there at the beginning. You can't beat that feeling. There's no amount of a personal championship for your team at high school is great. But when your guys that you coach do something personally, whether they get married, whether they have babies, or like what Walter Clayton, what he did in winning those games, him and his team winning those games, it was overjoyed and really in amazement and just thankful to the Lord because we talked to Walt, and don't get me to start preaching, but you invited me. I told you could have just had Walt, so I'm gonna preach. You can cut me off, right? We told Walt God has got his hand on him, and if he'll walk and manifest in what God has him do, he will benefit and God will get the glory. So I was so thankful to the Lord because he's walking into what the Lord would have him be. Yeah. All that stuff is happening at that moment. And then in the national championship, both those games, the semifinal and the finals, it was the same thing. Didn't break down as much because I'm thinking, well, it was a little bit different situation. But man, it's just overjoyed. So I took 5 minutes to say I was overjoyed.
Yeah, you're good, Coach.
Right.
So Walt, the same kind of question to you. How was it for you from the whole journey, the whole ride, the first round to the ship, with pretty much every game, like McGriff said, you got family there, you got your coaches there, so it's almost like a home game for you. How was that for you, just knowing you got your people behind you? Then you had the whole county behind you back home, but just them being in the stands, like if you having a tough moment, you look in the stands, you can always see your mom or your pops or your little sister. How was that for you? Because you just never, they talked about it, you just never flinched, and that's been since you was in the county, but you never flinched on that stage. Just kind of talk about that for a minute for folks.
Yeah, for sure. My family mean the world to me. I think everybody know that. So just having them there, them being able to be there to watch all that. They watched it from the beginning, so I'm thankful that they was able to be there. But honestly, during them games, during them moments, I'm trying not to look up in the crowd. My mom and them, they probably nervous. McGriff probably he won't say it, but he probably up there a little nervous too. Everybody a little nervous, so just try to like stay focused on what's going on the court. And, I was blessed this year, just with a whole team of guys. We loved each other, wasn't no animosity between us. Spent a lot of time together on and off the court, and we just all enjoyed seeing each other succeed. So whenever we just got to those crucial moments, we just had trust in each other, to be able to go back out there and just make the right plays and win the games.
Walt, I got a question for you because out of everybody here, I've known you the longest. I've seen you elementary school and middle school, come to the gym, try to play against older guys and things of that nature. I don't know if you remember or not. You was playing football, and Coach Black asked me to come out there, help a little bit. We had a conversation, and you told me then that you didn't want to play football anymore, and you was trying to recruit me to come to be the basketball coach and whatever. But what I want you to talk about now is how tough was that decision, to bet on yourself and only play basketball, and talk about the culture in Lake Wells, because I know a lot of those older guys poured into you. They brought you to workouts, they brought you to open runs. Just talk about how that culture is in Lake Wells and how competitive that is, like during the summer, and how that helped you get to this point.
Yeah, nah, for sure. Yeah, we'll start off with the culture in Lake Wells. I think for the most part, everybody know. I'm from Lake Wells, but I'm a Bartow guy. I'm gonna start off by saying that. I seen a couple people arguing about that, but yeah, man, just the culture, like all them older guys when I was younger, going to the gym with you and Coach Hayes, I was in there running practice at 6 a.m. Just seeing how hard those guys was working. Even when those guys won a state championship in 2012, I was there for all of that. So just being in there in them early mornings, being at Kirkland with all them guys, they kind of just poured into me. As I was younger, they kind of took me under their wing, allowed me to play with them and just develop my game at a young age. So I really appreciate a lot of people from Lake Wells, for just basically taking care of me while I was growing up. And then the football decision, it wasn't hard at all. Like you said, I came to you. I think I tried to stop playing when I got to high school,
You
but
did. You
yeah, I
did.
tried, but nobody was letting me. Everybody was like, don't put all your eggs in one basket. So whenever the time came around after sophomore year, I obviously had like all the football offers and stuff. I'm not gonna say it wasn't hard to give up football because I love basketball more. I knew that's what I wanted to play. But just all the offers and stuff, obviously everybody said it's a gamble, it was a risk. So I ain't gonna say it was tough though. Just hearing everybody say don't put all your eggs in one basket, that was probably the only thing that was probably tough. Just hearing about it. So I'm just thankful for everything, the way it done played out.
Now you just talked about the way it played out, and somebody asked me the other day about your recruiting and what happened and why you ended up at Iona. I said that's probably the best thing that happened to you because it created the monster that you are now, for you going through that particular journey. Let's talk about that journey, about COVID killing your recruiting, going to Iona, what I'm saying, not being, highly because I knew Florida was your dream school.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We everybody that knew you wanted to go to Florida. So talk about that process.
Yeah, no. I'm thankful, for that also, for COVID and stuff. I think throughout all these years, up to this point, it just done helped me the most to get mentally stronger. McGriff will tell you, I had like a couple just rough patches mentally throughout that whole time. Just even thinking about going back and just playing football, and just a lot of worrying, like not knowing. So whenever I got those offers that I got, I was just thankful. And then obviously, I told Coach McGriff I didn't want to commit till after my senior year, but then Coach Patino came in there, I want to say a week or two later. And I told Coach, I was like, I think I'm going to go to Iona. And he was a bit surprised, but even throughout those years up there at Iona, it was just a mental battle, just getting better mentally. And then obviously my confidence kind of went through the roof up there at Iona, and then skills as well. So yeah, the whole journey, the way it's done played out, I think the right decisions was made.
Hey, well, I just on behalf of Polk Hoops, I want to thank you for just even getting on Coach McGriff. I think we started this journey with this podcast with you. You was our first one of our first big time guys, and you stayed humble enough throughout the process of playing basketball to still just recognize us and give us the respect that we need. And for you to just jump on today, just want to tell you we appreciate everything about you, man. And good luck with everything moving forward. And know that we always a fan. We're a big fan of yours, especially me. I mean, I've been one of the ones that got criticized a lot because I always brought your name up them 2 years at Bartow and kind of put you on the level that we're talking about now. And they put my head in a swivel sometimes trying to tell me I was talking crazy, but congrats on everything that's been going on for you. And just appreciate you for coming on and giving us a little bit of your time.
Nah, yes, sir. Nah, I remember them days, man. I don't think they'll say you talking crazy no more. But nah, I appreciate y'all, like you said from the beginning, man. So I'm just I'm thankful for what y'all doing for the county, bringing more exposure to all the kids. I think it's something that's needed. So I appreciate y'all.
For sure. Walt, you still not old enough to play in the alumni tournament.
So,
I don't think my group around me right now will let me play.
For sure. But I'm gonna definitely try to get out to the summer league wherever you land at and try to come out there and watch you play.
well,
Yes,
how
sir.
hard was it for you to leave Rick Pitino? I guess it wasn't hard since I'm hearing now that Florida was your dream school. So I guess at the end it wasn't hard at all. But to not follow him, and then you look at St. John's this year. I mean, and you landed where you're supposed to land. God make no mistakes. But a lot of people put you in. If they put you with you was St. John's missing piece. So whether it was St. John's or Florida, they put you. It's the same result if St. John's has you. That I read that a couple places. But I was gonna say, how hard was it for you to choose Florida and not follow Patino, and to follow Legend? But here and now, I guess it wasn't really hard at all. But the question still there: was it harder than it seemed, or it was pretty easy at the end of the day?
Nah, it was definitely hard. Honestly, I really took the visit to Florida to see my family. I kind of just wanted a free trip back home, but it ended up being a great visit. I had already pre-planned in my mind to go to St. John's with Coach P, but some things happened. Got some news about my baby girl being on the way, so that factored into the decision a lot. And just it was kind of like I was picking between two families. The family I had built up there in New York, and then the family I got down here in Florida. So that was the toughest part about it. Just leaving them, but we keep in contact to this day. It's no love lost. And they had a great year. So I think, like you said, man, God don't make no mistakes.
Well, what advice can you give these young kids now that's coming in? Because you like they said earlier, you've been through a process that COVID kind of gave you a step backwards. But what kind of advice can you give these kids, man, that about the work ethic, like putting in the work? Because a lot of these kids get disappointed on how we rank them. Their expectation is they're superstars right now and they should be going to Florida, etc. But they don't understand the process of the work, the type of work that you have to put in. Can you give them some advice so that they can see this, even if it's recorded, that it's something that we can play on our page over and over, that they really need to hear from someone who went mid-major at the beginning, took the step to a Power 5, and now it is expected to be drafted in the NBA. These kids now, they need to understand what you had to go through because you're the next level kid at 6'3", 6'4". These kids have that expectation that they're so good. So what advice can you give them?
Best advice I could probably give is life ain't gonna go how you want it to go. You can plan out life all you want to, but things is gonna happen. You just gotta persevere, stay in the gym, keep putting in work. Be a good person off the court. I say that's one of the things I done learned the most over these past few years is just how much connections matter. So just watch how you treating people off the court. And just understand there's always somebody out there working, man. So you got to stay in the gym, keep on getting better. And hopefully one day, you get to a point in life where you're happy with it. So that's probably the best advice I could give.
Well, just know, man, you're a role model. You give life to these kids from little old Polk County. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna always be Team Walt, and we're gonna always be behind you. Just know that the whole county, the whole state of Florida is behind you. But you have given these kids hope. They can see someone from Polk, from Lake Wales, someone that went to bar told him like, hey, he made it. You know what I'm saying? You're an example. You know what I'm saying? We'll always be proud of you. And just continue everything that your mom and dad has taught you. Continue to pour into your little girl. Continue to give back. We'll always be here to help you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that, Coach.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
what's one thing that you leaving in college one thing that worked for you in college and it may be more than one, that's one thing you leaving behind and one thing that for sure you got to take with you as you move to the next level?
You saying as far as like on the court, like playing wise?
Whatever you want.
It's an open-ended question. You answer what you think will be most appropriate.
We're gonna stick with the game stuff on the court. I'll say taking with me from college, I gotta keep with me. I'm gonna need it is the shooting, just the ability to shoot the ball, put it in the basket. And then I'm gonna have to leave in college just the defensive inconsistency, taking a few players off. I'm gonna have to be solid on the defensive end at the next level.
It's big to take ownership of that.
Coach McGriff, how fitting was it for you that the play that Walt made to win the championship was not an offensive play, but a defensive stop? I said to myself, I know McGriff somewhere doing cartwheels and backflips. And then he looked surprised that he made the play, Coach. He looked like surprised that he was like
defensive stopper, Clayton Jr. for the win.
He was surprised, Coach, and they got it everywhere placid. Like he looking like, man, I made that play on defense.
I think he said he was surprised the clock went out, right?
Yeah, I was surprised the clock went that fast. They after I watched the film back though, they took a while to bring the ball up the court, and then they took a while to get into their play. So I was just surprised them 19 seconds went out that fast.
Okay.
Well, one more thing, just before we let you go, man. I know we know you got a busy schedule on you. On your workouts, when you're doing your individual workouts, how much? Because you're shooting from high school to college, your shooting went to another level. How much time or how many shots do you put up in your workouts, and how often do you work out since you've been away from high school to now going to college to the next level? How often do you work out? What's your workout schedule like, just time wise?
Yeah. Really, the first couple years, it was more about just mechanics. Obviously in high school, Coach McGriff was helping with my shot and like footwork, so I kind of already had some of that stuff. Throughout my freshman and sophomore year, we tightened up on the mechanics a lot, and then when I got to Florida, tightened it up a little bit, but then just like you said, it started getting a lot of reps. So we spent about depending on in season, depending on like how our body felt, I had like some tendonitis going on. So like sometimes we'd go like 45 minutes, sometimes it'd be like an hour 15 of just putting up a lot of shots, focusing on mates, different footworks and things like that. And then we'll come back and obviously have practice, put up some shots in practice, and then some free throws after. And then off season was a lot of come in the morning, obviously outside the weights and stuff, work out for about an hour and a half, go do whatever, and then come back later in the day and get about 400 to 500 makes on the shoe machine.
Not shots, mates.
So what's your workout schedule now preparing for the draft?
So right now we get up around 6. I get up around 6:20 in the morning. We leave the house around 6:40, 6:45, get to the gym at 7. We eat breakfast, do like some stretching, recovery, and activation stuff. We get on the court around 8:30, and then we on there Mondays and Tuesdays. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, we on there for about 2:15, and then on Wednesdays, they call it ball head Wednesdays. They say they trying to run us till we ball. We on there for about 3. It'd be about 3 hours. So just a lot of shooting. Start off with some ball handling, and then we after you on the court, you go and lift. So we lifting every day.
Well,
kids got to hear. They want to be Walton Clayton. They got to understand like what the work put in to be at that level.
If you do not have a shot, you do not have a shot.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't shoot, you have no shot to play.
Yeah, you gotta be
at the next level. Yeah,
NBA level. No shot. If you don't have a shot, you don't have a shot at any size. So, you 6'3" or 6'8", you have to be able to shoot the ball in the association to play.
Don't happen. Don't have a shot. You don't have a shot.
No
That's
shot, no shot.
that's a gem.
I will
That's a
say
gem.
too, in high school, I feel like a lot more kids need to play pickup the right way. You know, like whenever you playing pickup, like you need to focus on something. Like if you want to get better at floaters, you know, focus on making floaters that day, or if you want to get better at this, you know, focus on that. So just, I feel like growing up, pickup was big for me. Just even playing with some of my friends, you know, just getting a feel for the game. So you know, obviously, it's a little later in my process now, so we focus on like a lot of technique stuff whenever we working out and things like that. But just I think a lot of kids need to play more pickup, get a feel for the game.
Okay. But
Well,
man,
we gonna make some notes of this on the video, man, and Barn,
Yeah.
we got to make the quotes, the things that
we're gonna lay some quotes, some clip. We're gonna do some of these clips just for some. Cause when they hear it from you, like I said, you can't dispute the finished product. So you know, with us, they can tell us we don't know what we're talking about. But you saw this man saying it, and you saw this man doing it. And
you always welcome on here, Walt.
Yes,
You're
yes,
always
sir.
welcome on here.
Any final words from McGriff? Thank you for your time, Champ. Thank you for your time, man. We know you out there about to make the next step, man. Just real quick, any last words, and what is an NBA team getting from you that they don't already know?
First thing I say, keep God first. You know, keep God first, whatever you believe in, and then NBA team getting from me. Some of them already know it, some of them probably don't, man. But just somebody that's willing to do anything for the team to win, you know, regardless of whatever my role is.
Coach McGriff, final word, sir.
Go Yellow Jackets. I'm pulling for the county, but not against Bartow. That's fine, Coach Wells. That's what I like. That's what makes us great, right there.
Hey,
and we glad Walt cleared it up that he's from Lake Wells. You know what I'm saying? But
That's why McGriff was tough on him because he was from Lake Wells. He just tried everything he could to poke at him.
And also,
but you're welcome, McGriff. You're welcome.
Thank you. Not any more you want to see it?
You're welcome.
Breaking news for anybody before y'all ask, Walt Clayton is not eligible for the alumni tournament this year, even though we wouldn't let him play anyway if he was. Just call it what you want. He got bigger things he's doing. So, but we putting it out there just before.
Tune into the draft. I think it's Wednesday, June the 25th,
6th,
the 26th. That Wednesday,
June 26th.
I don't even think Walt gonna be here doing the tournament this year. You know the tournament in Bartow this year, Walt.
Yeah, I know. I heard.
He'll be in summer league.
He'll be in summer.
He won't be here, but even if he was,
depends on the team. Depends on the team. They got different summer leagues going on.
Oh yeah. You know, we got almost ran out the gym last year because they was trying to do that new math to put you on the roster. Like, man, come on.
We got cussed out because we didn't let you play, Walt.
Yeah, man. So anyway, man, we appreciate y'all, man, for tuning in, McGriff and Walt. Thank y'all, man, for stopping through, man. And we gonna end it on that, man. Good luck to you, Walt. So proud of you again, man. All your success, man, and the way you handled yourself and the way that you put on for the county, for your family, for the city, man. Both of your cities. Nothing but success and love for you, man. Thank you.
All three of them. Frostproof and Fort Meade. They say you from there too.
Oh yeah, Frostproof, Fort Meade, Lake Hamilton. Yeah.
I ain't from Frostproof. My people from there though. So
people from there, but
give them a little love.
You gonna give him a little love. That's a clear up.
And he went to Bartow. He didn't live in Bartow now.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll let you go, Walt, man. Good luck to you, man. We proud of you, and Coach McGriff. Appreciate you always too, man. Both of y'all, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all.
All right.
Man, that's awesome, man.
Hey, man, that's great that, guys still, appreciate what that's big for our platform because, like I told Walt, when we first started, he was the kid. He was in that class of who we were bringing in our conversations, you know what I'm saying? And, never got discouraged on it, how we put it, rank them or anything like that, and always paid respect. And that's all. That's great to see, man. One of our kids that we started with can be able to come on here and we can get him to talk and, ask questions about everything, And
he still sound the same he did back then. Still.
I don't think we ever had Walt on the show, did we?
No.
We had
Yes, we did one
we
time.
had him on after they won state. Him and
Yeah,
Marion, and we had 3 of them
Yeah.
on there. And Josh.
Oh
King.
yeah, that's right. Griff
And
had
I think they won their first one, not the second.
But walk true to who he is, and he's not gonna change. He's gonna be that humble kid, but he's a monster when he get on the court. You know what I'm saying? Like he just worked out all. You could see it when he was young, as he said. Like he used to come in our 6 o'clock workouts. You know what I'm saying? Like that kid was, in middle school. I don't even think it was in middle. It might have been like 5th grade or whatever, coming in playing with high school kids. You know what I'm saying? You just saw it in him early. But like I said, I think that situation with COVID and him having to go to our owner made him a monster.
Playing wild, because I thought,
Yeah.
for me, I always say this. Of course, you like Wells. We told Barnes all the time. I always thought it was Power 5. It wasn't even a question.
If he plays that summer, he
was already with the Night Riders. He was on the EYBL, so it wasn't.
My thing is, if he does play, I don't think this happens. I think this was all staged.
Great story
for him, exactly.
And I don't think it can be lost. This happening that time he spent with Pitino, because he got that coaching, he got that NBA level coaching.
He did.
And you know what I'm saying? And from a Hall of Famer. So he got it from a NBA Hall of Famer Power 5 coach. So he was getting Power 5 coaching and he was getting that NBA pedigree. So I think that was very influential. That don't get talked about enough, because you see the end result. But Pitino poured into him. And just imagine Saturday, if St. John's got walked, they win the championship this year with what they had. If you ever saw St. John's play, that's all they was missing was a PG. Yeah, so, but yeah, man, that's real big.
Come home, he still gets in the gym with McGriff. He's still, working on mechanics. Like that kid, that's all that kid does. His work ethic is through the roof.
Yeah, one thing he said that he like our kids now need to take note of is making 500, not shooting 500. Got to make them. These kids think they just go in the gym for 15, 20 minutes and working on dunking and doing all the things that they know they can do, and wonder why they're not getting recruited. Is a conversation that needs to be had. They need to hear what it takes to be the next level player.
And my thing is, it got to relate over into the game itself. Like a lot of kids, you say you working, which is fine. You're putting in that work, but what happens when those lights come on? Those people are out there. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't show up in those situations. And I think that kid excelled in the big moment. You know what I'm saying? He lived for those big moments. He put teams on his back. He put Florida on his back. I don't care what they say. You know what I'm saying?
They ain't saying no different. They say the same as what you
put
say.
Florida on his back, in several games in the tournament. You know what I'm saying? And he showed up in the big moments. It's not a lot of our kids that are doing that. You know what I'm saying? I think that's something that they have to know, that whatever work you're doing, to prepare, it has to spill over into the game situations.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna clip some of these and repost them. But what about the gym about playing pickup with a purpose? What jitterbug playing pickup with a purpose? Like, I'm gonna work on my floater while we playing pickup ball. I'm working on this. You just out there running around, like, so now you actually adding the practice.
That's what the next level, like those NBA guys, that's what they do in pickup. They're not just out there saying, "Oh, I can hit the 15-footer."
Yeah.
All the time. It's now I got to go left 2 dribbles and pull up. I got to be able to go left and do this. I got to be able to go right and pull up. I got to work on those things, and that's the time to do it, because when you legit with your teams practicing, you don't have that time.
You do that.
But just think about it. You know what I'm saying? That kid was able to play pickup with Lonte, with Brandon, with Dominique, with Bacon, with Corey Sanders. Them. No, they're not NBA players, but we talking about a high school kid playing with people that is playing overseas. They're still pros.
They're pros.
They're pros, and he was able
to play in the NBA.
You know what I'm saying? He was able to get that, you know what I'm saying, while he was in high school. So, I'm so proud of him, you know what I'm saying? And I think the county, we needed this for this area. You know what I'm saying?
And he's under 6'5". That's what's even bigger.
Mm-hmm.
So
we needed it. We needed it. He did through the NBA tournament, NCAA tournament, March Madness. What we doing with the alumni tournament? He brought the whole county together. He brought people together who ain't never cheered for the Gators. Probably don't even know the other people and didn't care. He just how he was and how he carried himself through it. You brought a whole county together, not just Lake Wells. Yeah, like you say, he had him over there fighting over not everybody. I ain't never heard this man ain't from Lake Wells until after he won the ship. Like it never came up. Not everybody want a piece, right? So he did that, man. Like you said, and I think he had a lot of hands on him. And like Grill said, God had to say you can't. How else can you write that story, man? It's just like it was a fairy tale story that the county.
That's why it was so funny because every time I heard Walt or Ben sat around and he on Lake Wells, man. I went to Bartow School, but Lake Wells, he ain't never said he Lake Wells.
Yeah, I mean, you know where he's from, but what he needed at the time is what McGriff was able to provide. You know what I'm saying? He needed to make that jump. I'm not gonna lie to you. I encouraged him to make it too. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Lake Wells, but I'm about kids too.
Yeah, so why not?
He asked my opinion, and I'm gonna tell him what I thought. You know, it was a no-brainer for me. You know, I hate to see him go. I hate to see him leave. But that was the best thing for him, and it had turned out to be all. It was great for him. You know what I'm saying?
Smooth for him, and if you're in the kid business, it's the best move for the kid. At the end of the day, like you say, McGriff gonna take care of him. I mean, and he gonna get much more than basketball. He
learn how to be coached.
Learn how to be coached, and look at and them Bartow coaches, man, they was at every game.
Yeah,
multiple coaches. Like that's what I'm saying. He can't lose, even if he would. And he said he didn't want to look up there, but just knowing they there, you know what I'm saying? Just knowing that your family there, your coach is there, that's just such a cheat code. They was everywhere. Like they gone.
They're gonna have to put him as one of the greatest Gators ever. You know what I'm saying? I see them putting up a list about some of the greatest Gators players during the tournament. He's gonna have to be on that list. For sure.
Yeah. It'd be crazy now. He's all American.
Is not. I thought what was crazy was they was trying not to put Vernon Maxwell on there. How could you not put Vernon Maxwell on there? Max.
Well, you know,
2,500 points over there, Cole.
You know,
Mad Max hitting that white girl, man.
You know why Mad Max? You know why they want to try to put Mad Max on there.
But how you can't deny
what he did between them lines. Yeah, you can't deny that. But
we know he ain't go to class.
Yeah,
he hardly went to practice.
Yeah, man. Matt say
what we talking about. Imagine Mad Max and Walter Clayton in the backcourt. That is tough.
Yeah, that's tough. Hey, well, man, we appreciate y'all tapping in tonight, man. Great show, great gym. Like I said, we're going to reshare some of this stuff, especially some of the stuff that Walt was saying, because the jitterbugs, y'all need to hear it. And if you hear it from the GOAT, then what can you say? You know, they these old guys that don't know what they're talking about. You hearing it from the horse's mouth, literally. So we're going to make sure
we talk about it. He said it. Just one of them.
We've been saying, he said it, and it wasn't no problem. Y'all saw he jumped right out of a workout that his coach told he came to a jump right in the car and did the interview. So it wasn't no pregame. That was just him talking straight from.
I'm giving that for us though, man. Like the kid working out, getting ready to go to the NBA, and took time to get on the show with us, man.
Same kid that done been on what? He was on First Take, Good Morning America.
Yeah.
All the national stuff, and today's show.
Still respect the county. Still respect
the county. Still jumping on Polk. You know, them three guys don't know what they talking about, you know. That trash with them trash rankings.
Man, it's all good. Like I said, in the end, we're about kids, man. Walt is the epitome of why we started this. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
He's
sir.
the epitome of why we started this. And we're going to continue to highlight him and any other kids in the county.
Hey, man, and last thing before we get off, y'all heard we say that the alumni going to be in Bartow this year, the 25th through the 27th of July. We already got our first girls team back. the Lady Jackets. We got our first men's boys team, Fort Meade, tapping in for the first time this year. Y'all don't miss out. We got teams from outside the county trying to get in. So the Polk County annual family reunion hosted by us at Polk Hoops, man. We excited to bring it to you again. So make sure you don't miss out. We had a lot of people did last year, so don't let it be you this time. All right.
Yeah, man. Shout out to LBD. We got invited to national tournament in Portland, Oregon next year, and also the Nike tournament in Fresno, California. So it's some big things going on at Death Row.
Man, we ain't been on for me to tell everybody that we won nationals again. Our 12th national title, man.
No, we haven't.
Don't worry, I'm finna give you a layup. I'm gonna give you a layup. What's Coach did is. I got you.
Shout out to my girls, man. Varsity squad won our 12th national title. We won Stunt Wars. Our back-to-back. Second time we won it back-to-back. First girls team to ever do that. Now we trying to get prepared and get ready for U-Step, man. And try to go for the three-peat for that. So, man.
We're already claiming it.
Dynasty, TPS, Dynasty, LBD. Y'all guys don't get enough credit for the job y'all do working with young ladies as strong black men or strong men, period.
Oh, yeah, and we got tryouts. While we on here, man, we got tryouts. Interest meeting is this Wednesday at 6 p.m., and then we'll have tryouts for girls 5th through 11th grade, May 5th through May 9th. We have a step team trial. So any girls that would like to be part of the program throughout the county, come be a part of the program and travel across the country and compete.
Yeah. But just know it's not just about stepping, man. This Tuma and his team is developing the whole child.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of mentoring aspect, academic aspect. It's the whole child that's being developed over there, and that's why his program is so successful.
Yeah, shout out to 3 of my alumni, Kennedy Hughes, Stacy Shaw, Kenandria Rodman. They all graduated. Bethune-Cookman, Florida State, and FAMU. Shout out to my alumni steppers who graduated this year, and I got a couple more.
So I'm gonna tag in with that because all 3 of them I graduated from the college high school, so those are my girls too. So I'm gonna shout out my girls for walking across the stage, And
the nephew graduating.
And I'm gonna say, and next week, not next Friday, May 9th, 10 a.m. CJ, my young bull, he'll be graduating across the stage. Degree in political science. So yes, sir. My boy finished the drill this week. He took 3. They had 3 projects last week. He got 2 finals this weekend, and we'll be loading up the U-Haul and heading back to Florida in a couple of weeks. So shout out. And I graduated my son too from my school. The only thing, the bucket list item that I wasn't able to check off was because of raggedy COVID, I wasn't able to give my child his diploma. That would have been the cherry on top, but COVID took that away. But
and another shout out to Aaron Smith and Willie Lampkin. Both graduated from Lakeland High School and are now on their way to the Jets and the Rams, man. So
shout out. Yeah, man. Polk County has had a great, like you said, Coach, and we needed this. We had a lot of good stories over the last couple of weeks, and we needed it because it's enough negative stuff going on. So, man, anytime we can bring light to things, especially through sports, if that's our avenue, to tie to life, then that's what we're here for. We're here for it. So, man, appreciate y'all for staying in with us tonight, man. We had a real good show. Coach McGriff, Walt, appreciate y'all giving us a little bit of your time, man. So that's it. You say spring training? Football start tomorrow, right?
Yeah, start tomorrow.
All right, y'all guys. Spring football starts tomorrow, man. Make sure y'all go out there, especially if you got new programs and new coaches and stuff. Handle your business, man, and also make sure you handle your business in the classroom. Coach, what's your thing, Coach?
Best ability is availability. Finish up in the classroom, free physicals at Davenport High School May 31st. If you want a free physical May 31st, I'll give Barnes the flyer so you can sign up through the QR code. You have to sign up through the QR code to get the free physical.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we'll get that information out to y'all, man. So till next time, y'all be safe, man. It's Polk Hoops. We appreciate y'all rocking with us.